Hey, good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Friday edition of Gulfstream Today. Track announcer Pete Aiello joined by Ron Nicoletti, who's having some equipment malfunctioning already. I guess it's all that anxiety building up to the Beat the Expert contest here today. Ronnie, I have it on authority that there's not one, not two, not three, but four people going to beat you today, including Richard Roma, Kevin McAllister, Mike James, and a guy we both know, Gabe Pruitt.
Gabe Pruitt, okay, my buddy Gabe, who called the races here back in the spring, and we'll see how they do. Beat the Expert today. If you're not aware, you try and pick more winners to me, and if you do beat me, you got a chance to win one of those great polo shirts that actually says on the sleeve, Beat the Expert on it.
Gabe gave me a great strategy.
Yeah.
He likes to call you Riverboat Ron, and he said that the key strategy is that you have terrible luck lately, so if you pick your second choices, since you do have access to your analysis, you have to go with your top picks, so the move is to pick your second picks.
Yeah, and they usually come in most of the time anyway, because I'm always looking to do something different with my top pick there today, and like in the first race, when we get to that there. But Beat the Expert's been a lot of fun. Got a couple of guys that beat me last week. I had 4, they had 5.
Well, the over-under here this afternoon is 4. If you're playing Beat the Expert, simply use the hashtag Beat the Expert. Still have time to get those picks in. We have 10 races on the card here today. We have an early pick 5, which begins in race 1. We also have rolling super high 5 action throughout the afternoon. That rolling super high 5 begins in race number 1. And on the program today, we have a variety of high 5 wagering options, as well as the 50-cent early pick 5, which also begins in the first race.
Yeah, we got the early pick 5, and that Rainbow 6, pretty nice, boy, getting up there. It's over $200,000. You see it, $217,000 plus. Of course, the last 6 races on the card, and we end the day, as usual, with our final pick 5 of the afternoon, and that's the last 5 races on the card, and a great wager with only a 50-cent buy-in.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a carryover in that pool yesterday. We still looking at a healthy pool. The pools in the pick 5s have averaged about $50,000 lately, which is very, very good action indeed.
Yeah, and we've mentioned that it would be well over 100 yesterday, and it certainly was. It was up near 160 or 70 or something like that in the late pick 5 when we had that carryover. Race 1 today.
First race of the afternoon. We'll delve into the racing action now, and we'll kick it off on the turf. The track is fast, and the turf is firm, by the way. And again, jockey Tyler Gaffleone will not ride here this afternoon. He'll be back on Sunday. So in the first race, we have claimers at the $12,500 level. They've not won 2, and we have a scratch of the main track only, so a field of 8. Rider change in the first race. Edgard Zayas takes over on 1, Artemisa, and Roberto Alvarado Jr., longtime New Jersey resident, takes over on 8, Quick Avalanche.
Well, let's go and show you my early pick 5 ticket this afternoon. Now you see it 3 deep in here with 3, 5, and 6, and then I went 2 deep, 3, 2, and 2 for a very affordable $36 ticket. Always good to use my ticket as a gauge with your tickets and see maybe together we can come up and get us a winner in that early pick 5. Peter started it off with the 6 in here first, Dixie, who I think is sitting on a winning performance after responding to a turn back in distance last time out, went up and disputed those fractions of 21 and 4, 44 and 3 before getting nipped at the wire by your favorite horse, and that is a Love Flute at this level and distance last time out. I thought it was a pretty good performance. Number 6 sitting up there right now at 9-1.
And oh, by the way, Love Flute came back to win again last week.
Right, that's right. And so Love Flute, so keying off that performance, and there I went with the number 6 on top. But I want to talk about the number 5, Kiss Us, who's stepping up to face winners today. In the first start since using her speed to defeat $25,000 maidens at this 5 furlong distance. It's back on June 12th. I want to show you a stat on trainer Ralph Nix. Over the last 5 years, layoff for 31 to 60 days, maiden claimers on the turf. He's 8 for 45, 18%. In the money a lot, 62% of the time, but only that $3 ROI. So they bet this horse a lot. He's always in the money, but only 18% in the win column. Just thought I'd point that out.
There's good news and bad news if you like Kiss Us. The good news is she continues to race very, very well. The bad news is she continues to tumble in class. She debuted for a maiden special weight, then dropped in for $50,000, then cut that in half for $25,000. Now we're cutting this in half. We're in for $12,500 here today. The question is there a soundness issue, or is it simply a situation of Whisper Hill Farm wanting to reduce some of their stock?
Yeah, reduce some of their stock, and looks like the logical place. The other horse I want to talk about, and I want some information from you on this one, and that is Cowtown Jane, who's shown the ability to rate from off the pace, is hoping to both sit in the catbird seat and behind the speed and race trouble-free for you. I want to go back and show you this performance. This is what I want to ask you about, Pete. I want to know if this particular trouble that this horse got in. Of course, this horse, the race last time, and we'll see that she was the number one. And you'll see that we're just going to follow her as she goes up. She's right on the engine right here, but you'll see when she gets to a certain point, she hits the rail and has to really get shuffled back. It'll be coming up very shortly here. And I just thought she was in a good position and could run well in here. You'll see it right now. Just has to totally put the brakes on, almost pulls the horse's head back, and that's it. The day's over. So did that cost that horse the race? Am I looking at a horse that's a bit of a price in here with a shot to rebound?
Well, yeah, she definitely has a shot to rebound. I don't know that she was going to win that race, but certainly cost her. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back and show you that. So what are the horses, if you're looking for a little bit of a price, in the first race, maybe the number 3, Cowtown Jane, 10-1 on the morning line, and ridden by Red Hot MCL Jaramillo. So go mark that horse down. You might want to use that one.
Price play on the first for Ron is 3, Cowtown Jane. By the way, you can select that horse and beat the expert anyway.
Would you stop giving away? Oh, my. He wants me beat bad.
We'll learn down to the second race of the card, race number 2, maidens of the $16,000 variety. They go 5.5 furlongs. These are 2-year-olds. Testaruda, heavily favored on the morning line. Is this the horse to beat? And is this your horse that you're going to try to single?
No, I'm not going to single it anywhere. And Testaruda is getting some needed class relief after following that second-place finish in a $25,000 career debut. Comes back, runs a distant 5th against $50,000 maidens last time out. All the way down today, Angel Rodriguez, Luis Castillo, Hanley drop down. You know this barn likes to win. I think they put it in a spot where it wins today.
Yeah, I think the horse, if the morning line is correct, and I don't have a stronger feeling on that either way, but if it is, I think Testaruda will be a major underlay here. 6-5, too short for anybody in this field. You're using the second choice on the morning line, the number 3 on Wavering Faith. Fawkes debuting at a low level.
Yeah, this one is a daughter of Street Boss debut, and as you mentioned for Dave Fawkes, 8 local workouts showing. She starts a career. She's got Lasix, Matthew Spoli named to ride, and just always respect the barn, so I threw it on the ticket. Ended it with 2 Colonel June, who's hoping to score in July on the main track after failing to show much in her $35,000 career debut on the turf. A little corny with that one, right?
It's what we've come to expect from you, Ronnie. I mean, you have the resume of an ace handicapper, and yet you still feel the need to make a comment like that.
Go to the next race, will you please?
Let's go to the third race on the card now, an allowance optional claiming event at the 1-mile trip. We have a field of horses in here that field of 5. This is the race, at least according to the racing form, that's a foregone conclusion. Number 5, Moonlight Bandit. Definitely appears the horse to beat in here, but he was in that role the last time, and he was defeated.
Yeah, a couple of jockey changes. MSC Jaramillo on the 3, Cornelio on the 4. Moonlight Bandit is hoping for a clean trip, following his impressive 7.5-length victory against $50,000 starter allowances, 2 back. Lacked a little room last time. I went back and looked at this race. I didn't think it was that much. So it's the favorite at this level and distance last time out. I have he's the one to beat in here, but to single it, did not do it.
Well, here's the way. Let's look at this in sequential order. Number 1, Amber Jack, has been falling off the mark. He was claimed for 12.5. Off the claim, he's not run well. He was 5-2 last time out, made no run of any kind. The 2 Billion Star, yes, he broke his maiden last time out, defeating Time Will Tell, which at the time was a good idea, except Time Will Tell came back to run awful again as a heavy favorite. If you snooze, you lose. Well, maybe this horse has a look. Hasn't been out since February for trainer Peter Walder, but that really leads you to the 4 and 5 on the outside.
Yeah, now dancing in the heat is stepping up, stretching out to a mile return from that freshening. Defeated 12.5 condition claim is going 7/8. Antonio Sano also has Billion Star in here. Cornelio Velasquez name on this half of the uncoupled entry. You know the old adage of the longer price of the uncoupled entry. That other horse being the 2 Billion Star, as you mentioned, just broke his maiden and did it with the with the addition of blinkers. So maybe that was the secret, and this horse can make it 2 in a row. Defeated older horses at a mile in the 16th. It was maiden special weight competition.
I made a gesture like this with a whistle yesterday, and the reason I'm not doing it again is that the horse that I did that with won easily. So right. I'm not going to play that game again, but that's my opinion.
Well, 5, 4, and 2 in this 5-horse field, but the 5 certainly, according to him, the racing form thinks is going to win, and I put it on top.
We'll go now to the 4th race on the program at a mile on turf. Scratch to number 3, Loma Smarty K. Rider change on number 4, Pearls for Girls. Pearls for Girls makes her return to South Florida for trainer Ralph Nix. She appears to have a chance in here. However, Ronnie, you're going to try to beat her all the way off the board.
Yeah, I went with the number 5. Who's That Chick is dropping to this $8,000 level. Returned from the layoff, duel for the lead, encountered traffic at the top of the stretch. Finished 7 behind a red-hot Defying Gravity, who's running in race 10 today. That was in the middle of that 3-race win streak. So I just thought of that performance in here. I thought this was the logical horse. I do not like the favorite in here. So, the morning line favorite, the number 4, Pearl for Girls. So I did not use it on the ticket. I'm making a stance against that horse in this race.
If you're playing Beat the Expert, I won't go there again. That horse has been beaten already. Yeah. Second choice in the race for you is number 2, Wild Era. She's only a 3-time winner, but she does have 17 slices. Win, probably not, but definitely on the ticket.
Yeah, she's dropping a notch in the claimant scale. She went up, disputed the pace, got collared late when finishing 3rd against 10,000. But as you look on the record on the turf course, she's 1 for 36 on the Gulfstream turf and hasn't visited the winner's circle in the last 30 races. She's one that I'm putting on the bottom of the ticket there, in the exacta trifecta. She runs well. She just doesn't get to the winner's circle very often. Well, not in the last 30 starts.
I remember the last time she won, she pretty much wanted to throw that away, too. She's kind of one of those horses that in deep stretch, when she hits the lead, she gets to looking around for somebody else. A horse that probably has a big chance in here because she's rounding into form for Antonio Sano is number 6, Gigi's Miracle.
Yeah, she's a drop into this level. Took the overland route last time out. She was 5 and 6 wide, finished 4th against 10,000. Open claimers going 7.5. That's how I saw the race, 5, 2, and 6. Do you like the 4 in there?
I thought the 4 had a look. I like the 6 is actually who I would use on the top of the ticket because Source is coming out of a bulky field and had some traffic trouble, and she's just kind of the one pace grinded out. I don't think the 8 has any chance. There's speed in the corners of the 2, 4, 5, and 7, so maybe a horse sets up from off the speed, and Sano does well with horses like this. This is the kind of race that he wins, so Gigi's Miracle would be my endorsement.
Okay, so I got that one on my ticket, so if you want to put that one on top to beat the expert, feel free. But
I thought we weren't doing that anymore.
Well, Who's the Chick is the one that's going to beat you guys, whoever is listening to this big lug here. Let's go to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be fighting.
Yeah, we'll have to stay tuned with us. There's more great racing action right after this.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a fun contest that we have going on. It's called Beat the Expert. Every Friday, if you're able to pick more winners than me or my co-host Ron Nicoletti, then you will have the chance to win a free polo shirt that says that you beat the expert. Go to facebook.com/GulfstreamPark to enter and use hashtag #BeatTheExpert to let us know that you're playing. Bring it on.
Back now for a preview of race number 5 on the program with today's 10-race format. The Rainbow Six begins with race number 5. It's a 20-cent play. We take to the main track at 1 mile. Non-winners are 2 the category, 8,000 the claiming level. Just 5 in here. We have 2 scratches. Scratch the 1, Sensational Saturday, and the 4, Seeking the Storm. Rider change on the 3, Infiltrata to Edgard Zayas. However, even though we have a short field, contenders, pretty much everybody.
Yeah, and show you my Rainbow Six ticket right now. And I went 3 deep in here, 2, 5, and 6. So I didn't use 2 of the 5 horses in this race. I single in race number 6 with Ms. BVI. And Ms. BVI, I'll tell you about that horse. When we get to that race, 3 deep, 2, 3, and 4, $43.20. Taking a big chance with that single in race number 6, Ms. BVI.
Well, let's try to dissect race number 5 from a tactical standpoint. You have speed on the outside with 6 Urabamba and 7 Manhattan Moxie. Manhattan Moxie has not proven that she cares much for the main track, even though her last win was over this main track. She has had some subpar races recently, so she's involved in the pace. Urabamba last time ran well against Roraima, who was expected to win, but if those two get into tussle, who comes to run them down?
Well, I did go with the number 6, Urabama, hoping to save something more for that stretch run. As you mentioned, opened that 3-length lead prior to settling for second at this level and distance. I went with Grand Chama in second, who renews that rivalry with Urabama after making that mid-race move, getting parked a little wide on the turn in that race, finished third behind her last time out. Victor Barboza Jr., MSCL Jaramillo was aboard for that victory this horse had back in June 26. So those are the way I went. They did not use the morning line favorite in here again. For all you people that have over the years have called me a chalk-eating weasel, I am not going with the morning line favorite in here. Do you like the number 3 horse?
I'll put it to you this way. If she runs back to the race she ran the last time she was on this main track, yes, I like her quite a bit. But that's the gamble. She's run terrible since she's been claimed. However, both of those races were on the turf. Maybe she just doesn't like the turf. Yeah,
it could be that simple. But, you got to try and beat him in there. And then I closed it out with the 5 Canary Green, stepping up to face winners after that colorful $10,000 maiden score at 7 furlongs. She rallied at the quarter pole to win by 3/4 of a length.
Well, let's look at something that I always find interesting in horse racing. You have Grand Chama, who's 9-2 on the morning line. You have 5 Canary Green, who's 8-1 on the morning line. From an ordinal rank standpoint, I think that's probably right. But from a logic standpoint, riddle me this, Ronnie. No. The last time Canary Green raced against Grand Chama, she beat her by almost 10 lengths. How can there be a 10-length form reversal in less than a month? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. You tell me. Explain it to me.
Well, I don't know. That's the great thing about horse racing is you have to dissect the form patterns and figure out who's doing best.
When they make the morning line,
no, this wasn't a talk about the morning line. I'm just fascinated by the idea that on June 5th of this year, the 5 beat the 2 Grand Chama by 10 lengths, and now somebody thinks that Grand Chama is actually better than Canary Green. Why?
I just, because I thought you got parked 4 wide last time out.
No, not you. I wasn't attacking you. I'm saying this is a conceptual argument.
Well, I had Grand Chama on top of Canary Green, so I have to defend myself here. Thought that Grand Chama ran better last time than Canary Green. So it's as simple as that. And, you know, certain patterns with trainers and horses and jockeys and everything like that. One horse might look better in the same situation, even though it beat that one last time out. You understand that?
Yeah, clear as mud. Thank you very much. The Rainbow 6 starts in the 5th. Let's look at the late pick 5 now with race number 6 on the card. Maiden claimers at the $12,500 level. I have to hear about this single. This is not a single race, but Ronnie's singling anyway. Yeah. Let's hear about it. 5, Miss BVI.
Miss BVI stretching out around 2 turns. That is 7.5 furlongs and competing today without the blinkers after losing all chance when she had to check sharply at the half-mile pole. Going to go back and show you that. She really had to check sharply there. So let's go back and rewind this and watch this. You'll see this horse come out of the gate and was running pretty well. And I think she's going to be part of the pace scenario this afternoon at this distance. Jockey changed to Roberta Alvarado Jr. in the spot. Let's watch what happens to the number. What was she that day? She was number 4. You'll see it right here as it comes up. There you see her, just gets, shuffled back. And more importantly, Pete, than that, she just got knocked in straight. I don't see anybody in here that could beat her. Well, that's my logic in this thing. I just think off that performance and the level of competition, I think she's part of the pace this afternoon, and I think she's got this field over a barrel.
Well, let's look at it from the other way. This is always a great way to look at it. Let's start with the favorite. The morning line favorite is number 2, Solidaire. She's not reliable. She's lost 11 times already. Sure, her race 2 back is great, but what do you make of that last race? She didn't do any running of any kind. I can tell you that watching Solidaire, she has no turn of foot.
Right.
So that's the thing about a lot of these lower-level maiden races. We talked about a horse named Traffic Express last week, and it was very much the same thing as Solidaire. These horses will win eventually, but tactically how they do it is always the question, because you can't ask them for too much speed or they'll have nothing left, but they have no turn of foot, so you can't really take them back either. So if Miss BVI on the stretch out can secure the lead, you're convincing me that she's the right move here.
Yeah, and and the other horse that you mentioned, you made a great case why it did not put the favorite on top of the ticket and use in the third. Another horse I thought had a chance to run well in here is Perfect Patty, who finds a perfect spot to shed that maiden tag. She rallied. She finished approved second. She was at 83-1 last time out at this level of distance. She figures in here 83-1 last time out. On paper, she figures. Again, that's why I went with Miss BVI. I think this horse is the one to beat in here, especially with a clean trip.
Let me give you one horse just as a devil's advocate selection. The number 9, Proud Mary Strikes. her last 2 races were terrible, but her last race, she wasn't where she wanted to be. Talking about trying to change tactics to get a better result, they tried to sit her closer to the pace. Well, they went 22:45, 3/4 and 10. That's not going to work for Proud Mary Strikes. Her race 2 back, she was up against it because Great Euphrates did what we were just talking about, set a fast race and kicked on to win it. What about her race 3 back, Ronnie? She's only had 5 races. A lot of these horses have significantly longer resumes.
Right.
She does have a race on form that could make her a contender here.
Yeah, right. So, but once again, going back to the theory, I just think the 5 horse in here is the best horse in this race. I singled. Of course, a lot of people, like you said, is not a single race. There's too many questions in here, more the questions than answers. But I had to take a stance, and I just think this one classes up perfectly in the spot.
Well, and she's 5-1 on the morning line, so jump on the Miss BVI bandwagon with Ronnie. I might actually have a seat on that bandwagon as well. We'll look now to the 7th race on the card. The 7th race is the start of the late pick 4, maiden claimers of the $20,000 variety race, 6 furlongs over the main track. Rider change on 8, High Dandy. Make the rider Edgar Zayas. The 2, Giant Inca, off the claim, takes the blinkers off today. That is a change of equipment. You like High Dandy right on top.
Yeah, this one listed as a gelding is back at the same level and distance, looking to prove on the solid closing bid that produced that 3rd place finish last time out. Antonio Sano. Edgar Zayas, as you mentioned, will be in the saddle this afternoon today. I just thought it was a logical choice. I think this one's going to set a better trip than the inside horse, who's the morning line favorite, and that is #win from the Allen Hunter barn. They had a couple of wins yesterday, Matt Rispoli, including the one you went with. So, I mean, these are the logical 2 here. So, you know, I'm not saying High Dandy has to win, but I just flip-flop. I think the logical exacta.
Well, I want to see, this is live television, fans. Let's see if Ron Nicoletti gives me credit for anything at all. Watch this.
What?
Ron, both the horses who won yesterday, Give to UK Cats and Dreams Cut Short from the barn of Allen Hunter.
Right.
They both had one thing in common, and they both are doing the same, did the same thing that #win is doing, and it's something that I told you was going to happen.
And I gave you props for that yesterday. That's the 2nd time since shipping in from our sister track, Pimlico. So I just thought that was a logical choice. You know, so the barn did exactly what you said. I gave you credit, but, you know, this is not the Pete Aiello show here. We're just trying to handicap and give people good picks
well,
here.
I'm not even giving picks. You're the ace handicapper. You're the expert, and people are beating you, not me.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Hey, how about the number 4 here, Sigmet? Now in the Giuseppe Iacedenia bond. This one is the son of United States. He drops to the $20,000 level. First start since finishing, he chased the pace. He faded to 8. It was against $50,000 maidens across town at Gulfstream Park last November. I think you watched the tote action. This barn has done this numerous times in the past. Horses that drop after one not so good race that could run well in here.
As you would say, I think this is the sneaky horse.
Yeah.
I like this horse. It's only had one race. Some of these other horses have had chances to win and haven't, so always nicer to go with the horses that have a license to improve.
Yeah, so one of those horses that I think when you're putting your exotic wager tickets together, you give a second look to, because this barn has done this, as I said, numerous times in the past.
Well, it's going to be tough to hear anyone have a strong opinion in the 8th race today. This is a tough race. Great betting race on turf at 1 mile. Claimers of the $12,500 variety. Ronnie, I guess I should start by asking, do you have a strong opinion here?
Well, not really a strong opinion, but a pretty good opinion. And I checked around, and I think that this horse might be the right one. I looked in the Daily Racing Form today and other places to see if I was going in the right direction. I don't usually do that. And a lot of people had the number 9, Virgin Morena, on top of the ticket, dropping to this level. First start since that ambitious campaign before the layoff, in which she followed her 16-2 lifetime score back on May 26th. Then she runs 6th, the late running 6th, and that's in the $75,000 Christmas pass back on June 11th. I think this is a logical spot. Would I even think of singling this horse? No.
Yeah, well, Virgin Morena makes a whole lot of sense, and so does your second horse, a horse that was extra game last time while facing a little bit softer, number 7, Queen of Silence.
Yeah, she's stepping up to the next level. She dueled from start to finish. She held sway that day to defeat 10-2 lifetime claimers by a head, Rodolfo Garcia, Emiciel Jaramillo, and I closed it out, Pete, with the number 3, With a Kiss, who's dropping to a level where she reeled off a couple of turf victories during April and May, and then hits the board in 1 of 3 outings in optional claiming ranks. I think she sits a nice tactical trip behind the speed this afternoon. She's the morning line favorite. never was going there with the morning line favorite. I threw this one on the ticket after the scratch of the number 4 horse Moise, who I like.
Well, the good news is she has a hidden drop in class. The bad news is there's nothing hidden about her intentions, as she is the morning line favorite. Those races on paper look bad, but they're against much tougher.
Yeah, and I mean, that's it on the drop. And you see when she ran against this level of competition, she did post back-to-back victories.
Well, let's go now to the 9th race on the program, maiden special weight at 6 furlongs. We have a field of 7 signed on in this race, and this race does start the late daily double. And rider change on 2 talked out to Cornelio Velasquez. The morning line favorite in here, Made of Steel. I want to show you a replay. I want to show you what this horse is capable of doing, as he very much impressed me, not last time, but 2 starts ago. We'll cue that replay up now. Made of Steel is on the engine here. Great job there by our video crew. Do you see the half mile? 44-2 there, and that was Made of Steel doing the heavy lifting. Who's Jack, who won the race, is laying second right now, but Made of Steel actually continues to kick on in here. Off the top of the turn, Made of Steel widens on Who's Jack. Look at that. That's impressive after a 44-second half mile. And then Who's Jack's going to get the better of Made of Steel, who very, what is the word I'm looking for here? He had every right to slow down. He went a very, very fast race, and that was going 7/8. Now here this afternoon, he only has to go 3/4. Last time out, he didn't make the lead. I think they'll make the lead here today with an inside draw. He is the one to beat, and I'm sure he's also your top play.
He's the top play for all the reasons you mentioned and shown here, and he's turning back to 3/4 today. Got beat 3 lengths last time out. Maybe just because of what you showed, he might have bounced off that, sizzling halves last time out. So coming back, Made of Steel looks like this logical choice in here. The other horse I used was the 7 Eric's Talisman, who will be outfitted with blinkers. He returned from about a 5-month layoff to duel for the lead, and we can finish 4th behind aforementioned Made for Steel. I think the proverbial screws should be tightened. Second start off the bench today. So Eric's Talisman, a horse that I think can be on the ticket. Talked out. The 3rd pick, a gelded son, a back talk by Smarty Jones, debuting for Ralph Nix. Only a trio of local work shipped in from the farm. Has a 3 workout showing. Gets Lasix, Cornelio Velasquez, first-time starter. Maybe that one jumps up.
I think we'll have to tab the tote board for more clues on number 2, Talked Out. Of course, you don't have that luxury if you're playing the late pick 5 or late pick 4 today. For me, and I know you didn't ask my opinion, but I'm going to give it to you anyway.
Well, let's go.
Made of Steel is the single in the late sequence. He's just the most likely winner with the least amount of chinks in the armor. Pun intended, ha-ha. We'll move on to the 10th race on the card. Hey, I can do it too.
Yeah, this is the corn pone show here today.
The 10th race on the program is the Friday finale, an allowance optional claimer at 1 mile over the turf course. As is the rule rather than the exception, this is one of the toughest races on the card. And I want to go back and show you a replay of not anybody in particular. I want to show you everybody, because there's half the field is coming out of this race. You draw your own conclusions. That's a Fleet Mary who's in the circled horse there in the blue blinkers. Now, let's not show it yet, guys. Defying Gravity is in the green cap, racing behind the gray. That's our Azure on the far outside, 4 wide. These horses are all in this race, by the way, so just take a look at how that works. And then Image of Rachel is in the berry rose pink behind our Azure. We'll go from there. As they turn for home, our Azure tried to come over the top. Meanwhile, Cornelio got Defying Gravity between horses, got the best run. You can see a Fleet Mary from the back having to work to the outside. Image of Rachel is already outside. The best trip got to Defying Gravity, and that ended up being the difference maker. But all 4 of those top horses are back in today.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at that race, but I did go with the number 1 horse in here, Viva Bertha.
Viva Bertha from the barn of Peter Walder was a winner last time out and was a winner 2 starts ago as well. Inside draw with speed. They have to be on the engine.
Yeah, she was given some time off after posting those back-to-back 12-5 starter optional claiming victories during May and June. Peter Walters solid with the 31-60 day layoff. MSCL Jaramillo returning on this horse for course play. 6 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds. But I want to show you a stat. It's sort of a negative stat here, and I think it's something that we have to show you. Over the last 5 years, layoff 31-60 days. Mid-level claimers on the turf, only 5 for 60. That is not a good percentage there. 8%, 35% of the money with an only 76-cent ROI. My top pick in there, but it does come with some baggage because Peter Walder not known for, turf horses coming off the layup. They usually need one. Excellent trainer, but they usually need one, and I just wanted to point that out.
All kinds of great opportunities in here. You saw that backtrack with the top 4. Riddle me this: Defying Gravity on the morning line is 6-1. A Fleet Mary is 8-1. Our Azure is 12-1, and Image of Rachel is 20-1. They were within 2 lengths of each other, all 4 of them offering value again today.
Yeah, and I got Defying Gravity and Our Azure on the ticket, behind Viva Bertha. And if you believe in stats over the last 5 years, maybe number 1 Viva Bertha, the morning line favorite, I believe, is vulnerable. So you use horses like that, Defying Gravity, Our Azure, or the horse you pointed out, Fleet Mary, who had to come widest of all.
Some scratches in that race. Scratch the 4, 7, and 9. Before we sign off, the number 10, Regan's Odyssey, second start in South Florida for Alan Hunter. That's the angle that's been working. She also has a look in here.
So, wide open affair, and as you mentioned, each and every day, the 10th race, a tough one to nail the super high 5s or even close out the Rainbow 6 or the late pick 5.
Definitely need some coverage in the finale here this afternoon. 10 races to get to. We're just 30 minutes from post time. Ron, thanks for putting up with me here today, and I hope you have great luck with Beat the Expert. I hope we come on tomorrow's program and you can hold up your own polo shirt because nobody beat the Expert.
And I want to see these 4 guys that you said. I know one of them, but I don't know the other 3. I want to find out who they are.
Well, Richard Roma, good luck to you, sir, and good luck to all of you folks joining us for an afternoon of great racing action.